Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a Seadrift City Council member calls it quits after what he calls troubling times. Plus, local high school students battle with torches and metal for more than bragging rights. They're building futures. And day 38 of the shutdown, and a new proposal could end it, but will lawmakers bite?
We had plenty of sunshine today, and Saturday is still on the warm side. Sunday is when the cold wind blows in. We'll be talking about all that coming up in a moment.
Plus, Supreme Court justices weigh a long shot appeal that could shake up marriage law. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon, and thanks for being with us. I'm Shawna Currie. A Seadrift City Council member is stepping down. According to our partners at the Port Lavaca Wave, Councilman Paul Gonzalez in Seadrift resigned from his seat at a special meeting last night. In a letter read by the Mayor Pro Tem, Paul Gonzalez said it was a tough decision, but changes to his work schedule made it hard to keep up with the city's busy agenda. He thanked staff, city workers, and fellow council members for their dedication through what he called challenging but rewarding times. The council also voted to hire Eric Kirkendall as the city's new public works director. Governor Greg Abbott announces more than $14 million in career training grants across the state, and Victoria College is one of the schools getting a boost. VC will receive $280,000 to help train almost 300 nursing students, giving them hands-on experience with new equipment and preparing them for high-demand jobs in healthcare. The funding comes from the state's Jobs and Education for Texans, or JET, grant program, which is designed to help students go straight from the classroom into good-paying careers. Nixon Smiley High School came out on top at Victoria College's 2025 Weld-Off competition this week. The winning team took home first place after going head-to-head with schools from Yoakum, Gonzales, along with Victoria East and West, Sacred Heart, Ezell, Shiner, and Yorktown. Victoria College offers several welding programs from basic skills to advanced certifications, helping students build strong careers one weld at a time. Well, felt like summer outside today, but that will soon be changing. Mac and I were just talking about this. Let's go over to him now for a first look at our forecast. Mac?
Yes, tomorrow you can do a lot of that outdoor, landscaping work you want to do around the house, because it may be the last time. By Sunday, a chilly wind is going to start blowing down. The frontal systems are already lined up. They'll be passing through our area early on Sunday morning, but you will feel that wind blowing probably 25 to 35 miles an hour. We're also going to be under a high fire danger, and we'll be talking about all that coming up in just a moment. Shawna, back to you.
If you see news happening, call our newsroom at 361-576-0026 or send us an email at staff@crossroadstoday.com. Travelers worried about recent cutbacks in TSA agents and air traffic controllers can breathe a little easier, at least if they're flying out of the Victoria Regional Airport. Airport management says everything is running normally. The 2 daily United flights to Houston are on schedule, and choosing Victoria might actually save you time and hassle compared to busier airports.
What I would recommend to people here in Victoria is to clear TSA here and not drive to Austin or IAH, where there could be 3-hour lines in that place. So easy, clear TSA here in Victoria and not problems, and no chances that you're going to miss your flight.
Officials note the Texas Department of Transportation has guaranteed funding for the Victoria Airport through November 18th, and United Airlines will keep the flights running, with the U.S. Department of Transportation pitching in to help keep things going smoothly. Well, day 38 of the government shutdown, the Senate is set to vote again on reopening the government. With SNAP benefits running out, many families are feeling the strain. As ABC's Perry Russum reports, the Trump administration is challenging a judge's order to fully distribute SNAP benefits by today.
On day 38 of the government shutdown, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pitching Republicans on what could be a breakthrough proposal. Schumer wants to reopen the government with a one-year extension of the current subsidies tied to the Affordable Care Act, what has been the major sticking point for Democrats.
This is a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with health care affordability, and begins a process of negotiating reforms to the ACA tax credits for the future.
It comes after Senate Majority Leader John Thune called on Democrats to, quote, re-engage.
If I were a Democrat, I would be embarrassed. I mean, flat out embarrassed to walk into this building every day, to walk past the men and women of the Capitol Police who are not getting paid.
With SNAP benefits running out, millions across the country are struggling to put food on the table. The Department of Justice fighting a judge's ruling that would require the Trump administration to fully distribute SNAP benefits by today. Late today, the USDA said they will pay November SNAP benefits in full to comply with the ruling. Stress is weighing heavy on those who rely on SNAP benefits, like Janelle Daniels, one of those waiting in line at this food bank in New Jersey.
I'm thankful that I have this opportunity to be able to do this, honestly speaking, because we don't know what will happen within the next couple weeks, month, maybe within the next year.
President Trump today once again calling on Senate Republicans to end the filibuster rule.
We would be back to work within 10 minutes after that vote took place.
It would allow Republicans to use their simple majority vote to reopen the government without any votes from Democrats. But Republican leadership has been unwilling to do that.
It doesn't make any sense that a Republican would not want to do that.
Republicans have said they would be open to negotiating on extending the subsidies tied to the Affordable Care Act once the government reopens. So now we have to see what they think about Senator Schumer's new proposal. Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
It has been 10 years since the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. Now the justices are weighing a long-shot challenge to that ruling. The appeal comes from Kim Davis, the former Kentucky clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples back in 2015, citing her religious beliefs. The court will decide soon whether to take up the case, possibly as early as Monday, or hold off a bit longer, which sometimes happens when justices want to write opinions on whether to hear it. A federal judge has dismissed the criminal case against Boeing over 2 deadly 737 MAX crashes at the request of the Department of Justice. Under the deal, Boeing will pay for or invest another $1.1 billion toward fines, victim compensation, and safety improvements. The crashes in Indonesia and Ethiopia between 2018 and 2019 killed 346 people. Families of victims had urged the judge to reject the deal, but the ruling now clears the way for Boeing to move forward under tighter federal oversight. Well, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, a mother posts video of her son fishing and it sparks outrage online. We'll show you the video and explain why. Plus, when traditional therapy fails veterans, some are now exploring illegal alternatives.
Here's a look at what you can expect on this week's show. We hear from the Victoria ISD, Keep Victoria Beautiful. We learn about a turkey trot, and we also hear from Animal Services.
If you have somebody that's elderly, that's worried about falling or tripping, we want them to feel safe in their neighborhood. You should be able to ride a bike or walk down any street in Victoria and not worry about getting chased by dogs.
A Texas mother is speaking out after a viral video of her 14-year-old son while fishing at a neighborhood pond went viral. Jessica Cha shows us that video where a man who is off screen can be heard allegedly calling the teen an idiot and threatening him.
Why not? Yes. Oh, nice, dude.
For Victoria Rentana's 14-year-old son, fishing is not just a hobby.
He lives and breathes it. It's everything to him. So every day he has to get his little fix of fishing. It's like non-negotiable.
And that was no different on October 22nd. After school, Rentana says her son went to Sullivan Park's pond near Onion Creek to fish.
Right here.
But how does fishing turn into this?
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm allowed to fish whenever I'm 14.
You're an idiot.
I'm not.
Read the signs. If I catch you out here again, I'm gonna punch your lights out so hard you knock yourself out, and I'm gonna drown you.
Okay.
Get the out of here.
Okay.
Just so shocked, hurt that someone would think it's okay to say that to anyone, much less a child, and especially for fishing.
Rentana posted the video on social media where it garnered more than 1,000 comments on Reddit. She explained that before the man made the threat, he asked if her son had a fishing license.
And my son said, I don't need a fishing license, I'm 14. In the state of Texas, you don't need one until you're 17.
Which was confirmed by Texas Parks and Wildlife law enforcement. Rentana filed a police report, but Austin police say filing charges in this case isn't simple.
So our detectives looked at that video, they did a brief investigation on it, and they determined that that case didn't meet the elements of a terroristic threat. However, it did meet the elements of an assault by threat, which is a Class C misdemeanor.
Corporal Jose Mendez says both an assault by threat, a Class C misdemeanor, and a terroristic threat, a Class B misdemeanor, both deal with threats that create fear. But the difference is the imminent danger a victim faces in the moment. For example,
so if you look at it, there's a pond there, right? He threatens to drown him. So the means are there. He never walks towards the individual when he makes that threat, but simply turns around and walks away.
Mendez also pointed out that in the video, the man says, if you come here again, before leaving.
So in that sense, there's really, it's hard to place like an imminent danger to an individual.
So APD is letting the courts decide what happens next. But Rentana says they're still seeking accountability.
My son was just doing a wholesome activity. He's just fishing. Nobody deserves to be threatened by death for fishing.
Veterans struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder are exploring psychedelic-assisted therapy when traditional treatments fail. The alternative approach uses substances like ibogaine, MDMA, and ketamine combined with therapy to help veterans reprocess traumatic memories. While not yet federally legal, the Department of Veterans Affairs is funding research trials. Retired Navy SEAL Marcus Capone traveled to Mexico for treatment after conventional medicine could not help his PTSD.
My life completely changed. I did a 180. I felt again. I feel like I haven't felt anything in years. I was able to be, human again.
Capone co-founded Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions to help other veterans access these therapies. Several states have passed bills supporting psychedelic research, but federally approved treatments could be years away. Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins says the department is exploring psychedelic treatment options while ensuring proper research and safety protocols. A suspicious package at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland made people sick after it was opened. The building was evacuated and those exposed were taken to the on-base medical center. Early tests did not find anything hazardous, but the investigation is still ongoing. The base just outside D.C. is known as the departure point for Air Force One and other top government flights. Walking through the grocery store, you might notice that protein seems to be taking over the shelves. While medical professionals say the high protein craze might not be for everyone, ABC's Olivia Rubin takes a look at how to make sure you hit your protein goals.
Powders, shakes, even Pop-Tarts. Protein is everywhere.
We're putting proteins in drink.
From coffee shops to grocery store shelves to your social media feed, the popularity and marketing for high-protein diets are on the rise. A high-protein diet emphasizes getting a larger percentage of your total daily calories from protein compared to the standard dietary recommendations.
Protein does so many things. We know it helps with muscle growth and skin and hair and all those things. Protein is a very satisfying macronutrient that can help you feel fuller longer.
Elizabeth Meehan has been eating a high-protein diet for 6 years. She says her initial goal was to heal her gut and aid in fat loss after having kids, but she found even more benefits.
I had more energy. I was recovering better. I was sleeping better. Everything was so much better when I chose high protein.
Experts recommend getting anywhere from 10 to 35% of your daily total calories from protein.
That is everything I needed for this week's high protein meal plan.
Stephanie Birmingham, who has documented her protein and fitness journey on social media, says she typically eats 160 to 170 grams of protein a day, which puts her right at the top of that range with 35% of her daily total calorie intake.
It was really refreshing for me for them to say, okay, high protein diet will help you in your fat loss goals, but it'll also help you maintain the muscle that you're building.
Protein products have exploded in popularity and now come in all forms. Stephanie and Elizabeth both say some of these products can be great tools to help them meet their goals, but that they also take a hard look at those nutrition labels.
Is it actually a lot of protein? Is this something that I should be putting in my body?
Really looking out and seeing what's the saturated fat content, what's the added sugar content.
Not all protein is equal. It's best to reach for lean and plant-based sources.
Think lean meats, low-fat dairy, Greek yogurt, and then don't forget your lentils and beans.
And balance is still important.
Pair your protein with fiber-rich foods, ensuring that you're getting the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables.
And of course, it's always important to consult your doctor before making any big dietary or lifestyle changes. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
To get more news, weather, and sports, come to crossroadstoday.com.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Another beautiful day. Right now, we're at 83 degrees. Southeast winds, of course, have been a little bit stronger over the last day and a half, and they will continue to be like that on Saturday. High today was 90 degrees, close to a record of 93. We'll be on the warm side for Saturday, but it's Sunday when the cold north wind blows in. We'll talk about that after this. Well, your Saturday will be very summer-like. It's Sunday. It's going to be a very interesting day, and we want you to know that we do have an alert flag up for Sunday, all of the crossroad counties, because we're looking for very low humidities down 10-20%, and of course a gusty wind to 35 miles an hour. That obviously could be a problem if a fire takes off. So let's be very cautious with anything that looks like an open flame, and let's avoid that on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, because we're going to be extremely low in the humidity. Well, it is Friday, and you can't rule out the fact that we got football tonight. The game of the week here is the Bay City Black Cats and the Calhoun Sand Crabs at Sand Crab Stadium, Port Lavaca. Clear and nice, southeast wind, warm this evening. Obviously, when the sun goes down, it'll be a little cooler, but not a chilly kind of situation. And certainly the wind out of the southeast is going to make it fairly comfortable. So as we mentioned, the southeast wind continues blowing to today and tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, this front will actually push this front through the area, and we'll get a northwest wind that's going to be very dry and fairly gusty. So that's what puts us in a kind of that fire danger for Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, it's going to be downright cold around here. Here you can see how the south winds will continue blowing for Friday night and on into Saturday. It'll be a good day to be outdoors tomorrow. Believe me, it'll be warm. And then as we get to Sunday morning, yeah, boom, the big north wind blows. And right here you can see we're looking 25, 30, let's see. Yep, we got even some 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts expected in the crossroads. So just consider that if you're going to be outdoors. Temperatures will be in the 70s, but it'll be that dry north wind that puts us in a kind of a dangerous situation. Now, we do have a fire weather watch already up for all the counties from Austin southward into the Rio Grande Valley, and that's for that very low humidity. Of course, the crossroads is included. There's Victoria County, there's Goliad, Refugio, and Calhoun as well. So just consider that on Sunday. Tomorrow is going to be a good day. Looking at a low tonight of about 62, so that's a far cry from the 40s we had over the weekend. And tomorrow, wow, 90 degrees for us and 93 out in western areas. But here's what's happening. It's the frontal systems that are across North America are going to contribute to what I'm calling the polar plunge, because by the time we get to Saturday, you're going to see this big push of cold air dropping south. And by the time we get to Sunday morning, they're going to be looking at freezing weather all the way down into Florida, in the Panhandle, and definitely throughout much of Georgia. So we're looking at temperatures dropping into the 15 or the teens throughout much of the Midwest, and in the highs barely getting into the 30s down south. So you're thinking, okay, well, what about us? Well, you see how we've got that northwest wind blowing this way, but it's not really coming from the coldest part. If the wind was here, if we were here, it would be a colder wind. So we're going to be, shall we say, on the breezy but dry side, and that's what we are concerned about with the outdoor and fire danger. So tomorrow, lots of sun, getting up to 86 in Port Lavaca. In Cuero, well, a good day. You're getting up to 89, almost 90 degrees, no wind problem at all. Sunday, the alert flag is up. Very breezy, and then Monday, Tuesday, we'll be down into the 30s at night. Yikes. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. And we'll toss it back to Shawna.
I might have to make sure the fireplace is ready for at least one night.
Yes, check on that tomorrow.
I will do that. Well, still to come, Target's holiday strategy is putting pressure on workers to interact with you. The details in business news. Wall Street ends the week mixed, with the Dow climbing 75 points, the S&P 500 rising 8 points, and the Nasdaq slipping 49 points. The price of oil rose 41 cents to $59.84 per barrel. The longest federal government shutdown in history is affecting how Americans feel about the economy. According to the latest University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, the index fell to 50.3 this month. That is a drop from 53.6 in October. November's number represents the lowest level since June 2022. That was the lowest reading on record since the survey's inception in the 1950s. With hundreds of flights canceled, more travelers are hitting the road. Hertz says one-way rentals are up more than 20% in just the last 2 days as people look for other ways to reach their destinations. The cancellations come as the FAA cuts back air traffic to manage controller shortages caused by the government shutdown. Hertz's CEO is urging Congress to end the shutdown soon, warning that every day of delay adds more travel chaos. IKEA's parent company says profits took a big hit this year, down 26%, as U.S. tariffs and rising costs cut into earnings. Enter IKEA, which supplies furniture to IKEA stores worldwide, reported a profit of about 1.7 billion euros, down from 2.3 billion last year. The company says higher shipping and material costs, along with the U.S. tariffs, drove prices up on some products, even as IKEA cut prices elsewhere to bring shoppers back. With the holidays around the corner, Target is asking employees to get extra jolly on the job. Staff are now expected to smile, make eye contact, and greet customers who are within 10 feet. And if they're closer, check in to see if shoppers need help or how their day is going. The move is part of a new program from Target's incoming CEO, aimed at making stores feel friendlier and to boost sales. Wendy's plans to close 200 to 350 underperforming U.S. locations, part of its roughly 6,000 restaurants nationwide. The closures will start soon and go into next year. Specific locations have not been announced. This comes after a tough quarter with sales down nearly 5%, while rivals like McDonald's and Burger King saw gains. Another fast food chain is offering up a very unique collaboration for the holidays. Taco Bell is rolling out the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Pie. It is a key lime style pie that gets an infusion of the chain's fan favorite soda. Taco Bell says the unique treat fits well with Friendsgiving, where it says anything traditional gets a creative twist. The chain says the pie is available for a limited time, in-store only, and sold only as whole pies. Well, the Woolly Worm Festival crowns a champion with a chilling winter warning. We'll explain coming up. Stay with us.
Major airlines slashing scheduled flights, travelers scrambling. Plus, the new order to fully fund SNAP benefits, the Trump administration pushing back, and a major Arctic blast on the way. World News Tonight with David Muir is the most watched newscast in America.
A town of 1,000 welcomed more than 20,000 visitors this weekend for its 48th annual Woolly Worm Festival, where fuzzy caterpillars race up pieces of string. This year's winner, Billy, took home $1,000 for his Indiana owner. There are the worms racing there. And his 13 bands are now predicting winter. They use the winning woolly worm to predict winter.
I see.
And Billy is predicting a snowy, cold start, 4 mild weeks, then back to chilly, snowy weather. And this is in North Carolina.
All from the rings around the woolly worm there.
With an 86% accuracy rate, this quirky tradition has been a local favorite since at least 1948, when Time magazine first wrote about it. So pretty interesting. And I know the eastern coast is going to be seeing very, very chilly snow
right on the
this
money.
weekend.
And the woolly worm is in the science books, because a lot of people, now Punxsutawney Phil, that's a whole nother thing. We won't talk about it. But the woolly worm has been, shall we say, measured to see what it predicts. So I can predict this, and I don't have any stripes on me, fortunately. We're looking at 90 degrees on Saturday, nice and warm, and then cold wind blows on Sunday. It'll barely be in the 70s, but you'll feel the wind chill. So you'll be needing a sweater or a jacket by Sunday. So just prepare for that. The alert is for the potential fire danger because of the wind.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big change between Saturday and Sunday.
That's right.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here for 25 News Now at 6.